You know what time it is. It's 9 to 5 with Gavin and Mike. In this episode, we'll be talking about the importance of self-acknowledgement and how to do it. But before we do that, drop the intro.
Konnichiwa. My name is Gavin Masumiya.
Nice to see ya.
I'm a mindset coach based out of West LA.
And I'm Mike Aheirwe.
You hear me?
I'm a Transformational Life Coach from London.
These recordings are short, sharp, sweet snippets of insight for anybody hustling a 9 to 5.
That's right, you can tune into them on your way to work, on your lunch break, or on your way home after a long day's hustle.
A big piece as a self-relationship coach, one thing that I really hone that I find so important is the importance of acknowledging ourselves. And that's something that's been really hard for me throughout my life. And I also see it's really hard, especially for clients that I tend to work with. And so, Mike, what is the importance of self-acknowledgement for you?
Man, it's everything. Self-acknowledgement is everything. And this really became pronounced for me just the other day when I was driving to see my sister and my newborn nephew. And on the way there, I was navigating through the streets of London, and driving during rush hour is a nightmare. And I was really flagrant with my F words and lavish with my tongue. And I was just like cursing to everyone, right? But I felt tense and I felt horrible and I felt like shit personally. And when I got to my sister's house, I remembered about bigging myself up, right? I remembered about being my cheerleader. And so I started saying stuff like, Mike, you're cool, you're confident, you've got this, you're great with people, you're a great uncle. And then I used that same approach on the whole drive home, and it was a completely different journey, right? So this time when people were cutting into me and I had to slam on the brakes, what I was actually saying was, Mike, you've got really good hand-eye coordination. Like I was literally saying this stuff to myself, like, you've got great hand-eye coordination. You can drive really well, right? So instead of focusing on what's happening outside of my control, I was using my willpower to keep it at home, right? To keep all of my attention, all of my focus at home. And actually, this is something that my man here, Wallace D. Wattles, talks about in The Science of Getting Rich. And this is the book that inspired Rhonda Byrne, the creator of the hit sensation documentary, The Secret, right? And here it talks about uses of the will, which is to keep it at home. And so that's what I was doing on the drive home. So self-acknowledgement is everything. And it's the only way I think we can make a difference in our own world and thus everything else around us.
Man, super powerful right there. So I have this right here. This is my kind of my journal, and you see the last tab right here, it says wins. And so I write down pretty much my wins for the day. And so if I look at yesterday, I want to really acknowledge myself for an awesome video I made with a friend of mine, Nico. What's up, Nico? And she's an amazing health and life balance coach. And we riffed about the importance of gut health. And I just want to acknowledge for really creating the space, because she wants to create more videos. And so creating a space for other people to experience a deeper sense of self-expression, I want to acknowledge myself for that, you know. And I have other ones, like I had a really powerful session with a client of mine yesterday, and it was around self-acknowledgement. And so after we did a centering exercise, basically, it's just a short meditation that I do in the beginning of every coaching session, no matter who it is. I guide them through it, and allows us to synchronize together. And we breathe. When we breathe together, the more that we naturally be able to develop rapport with each other. Actually, a side note, Tony Robbins, a lot of couples come up to him and they wanted to, like, how do we come together more? We're having sexual problems, like, for an example. And he's like, the first thing that he says, because he's very NLP trained, he's like, well, first off, I'm very expensive. Secondly, if you really are serious about this, I want to take you on a 2-week challenge that for the next 2 weeks, I want you guys to get intimate with each other, and I want you to breathe with each other as you are making love. Connect through your breath. And he's like, 80% of the time, they don't come back. Because breathing allows people to synchronize. And it's not just for sexual reasons, it's just synchronizing with people.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
And so what was hard for him is after centering, we go into a wins. What were some of the wins for the day? And he, it was really hard. He came up with 2 and he said, I can't come up with any more, Gavin. And I'm like, because you said that, I want you to come up with 3 more. And then he's kind of silent and he's like, you can hear the over the phone, right? Because he's based in New York. And so I'm like, hold on. I'd like for you to just close your eyes right now, right? Connecting him back to the centering, which we did, and just start breathing. Don't even think about it. And then he, within like 15 seconds, he's like, I got it. I want to thank myself because my one of the kids that I work with, he actually made me a letter the other day. I can't believe I actually forgot about it. And I want to just acknowledge myself for it. I'm like, fuck, awesome. Yeah. Okay, pause, breathe into it. Take it in. And that's one thing that I noticed, like, even when I was my mom, you know, she like, if I praise her for something, she kind of like will just be like, yeah. So anyways, and then it's like a subconscious thing, but it moves on to something else. And I noticed that I do that for myself, where sometimes I downplay it or I move it away. Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry. You know, it's good. Thank you anyways. And thank you anyways, though, I'm not really taking it in. I just downplayed it. And then I said, thank you afterwards. I kind of just tried to soften it, when sometimes the greatest form is to allow people to realize that their compliment to you has been gotten. So that's why absolutely self-acknowledgement is so important, because if we can give it to ourselves, the more we're receptive in not downplaying our self-acknowledgement, but to be like, thank you so much for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it's so important. So important. And we do it so easily with our friends and our loved ones. And if someone says something bad about themselves, we're quick to jump in and boost them up and be like, don't be silly. You are this, that, and the third. You are amazing. Yet we find difficulty in doing it ourselves. That you just gave a good example there of your mum. So I think it's so important to self-acknowledge. And actually, Snoop Dogg has this amazing video where he gets up. I don't know what he's being awarded for, but he's getting some sort of award. And he's like, you know what? I'd just like to thank me. I'd like to thank me for working so hard. I'd like to thank me for never having a day off. I'd like to thank me. I'd like to thank me for never giving up. Like, he just thanks himself in the whole speech. It's just brilliant. Everyone's loving it.
I love that, man. And what would you say, Mike, would be a way to really tie this up in a bow?
So listen, I would say, even do an exercise like Gavin did with his client. Just write down 5 things that you appreciate about yourself generally. And then write down 5 wins that you had in the last 7 days. And really just acknowledge yourself and allow yourself to take in that acknowledgement. And like Gavin said, just breathe it in. Breathe it in. And if you find that too difficult, ask 5 friends to tell you each 5 things they like about you, right? But start to recognize how amazing you are, how awesome you are, and share with us what you're proud of yourself about. Share with us your own self-acknowledgement. Leave in the comments below something that you appreciate about yourself. Tell us 5 things that you appreciate about yourself. We'd love to hear about it. And if you took some value from this video from Gavin and I, then go ahead and just like, follow, subscribe, share, tag a friend who you think should acknowledge themselves as well. We really appreciate that.
5 a day is the champion's way, y'all.
Amen.